Welcome to the 10 Minutes Gold Mine, where every book gives you a treasure of knowledge in just 10 minutes. Why do we struggle to understand who we truly are? Have you ever thought about why it's so difficult to truly know who you are? In his groundbreaking book, On the Taboo Against Knowing Who You Are, Alan Watts explores this perplexing question, suggesting that much of our struggle comes from a deep-rooted societal taboo against understanding our true nature. Watts invites us on a journey that challenges our deeply ingrained ideas about self and identity. So what's holding us back from truly understanding ourselves? Could it be that we are all caught in a game of illusion, playing roles we've been taught to adopt? Let's dive into the concepts Watts presents in his thought-provoking work, and uncover the hidden forces that shape our lives. The illusion of the separate self. At the heart of Watts' philosophy is the idea that we live under a powerful illusion, that we are separate, isolated beings. This sense of separation, he argues, is the root cause of much of our anxiety and suffering. According to Watts, the traditional Western worldview encourages us to see ourselves as distinct individuals, separate from the world and from each other. We are taught to define ourselves by our personal attributes, jobs, possessions, and the roles we play in society. However, Watts challenges this notion, suggesting that the idea of a separate self is a construct and illusion created by the mind. In truth, we are not isolated beings but part of an interconnected, ever-changing whole. Just as individual waves are not separate from the ocean but expressions of it, Watts contends that we are all expressions of the larger universe. The self that we cling to is merely a mental framework, an idea constructed by society and culture. Why do we continue to cling to the illusion of separateness, even when it brings us pain? Could it be that we have been conditioned to view ourselves this way, and that breaking free from this illusion is the key to self-understanding? The taboo against knowing who you are. One of the central themes in On the Taboo Against Knowing Who You Are is the idea that society enforces a kind of taboo against knowing our true nature. This taboo, according to Watts, prevents us from truly understanding ourselves and experiencing the world as it is. We are taught to focus on external goals, to seek success, possessions, and recognition, all the while neglecting our deeper, intrinsic connection to the universe. Watts argues that the pursuit of personal identity, the constant striving to define and defend the self, is a major distraction from the deeper truths of existence. Instead of recognizing ourselves as part of a larger, interconnected whole, we are conditioned to focus on individual achievement, personal gain, and the pursuit of fleeting desires. What would happen if we let go of our preoccupation with personal identity? Would we be able to experience life with greater freedom and authenticity? This is one of the key questions Watts explores throughout the book. The nature of reality and the self. Watts invites us to reconsider how we perceive reality. He challenges the traditional view that the universe is a mechanical system, operating according to fixed laws and principles. Instead, he suggests that the universe is alive, fluid, and ever-changing. The separation between subject and object, self and other, is an illusion that arises from our limited perspective. To help us understand this concept, Watts uses the analogy of a wave in the ocean. A wave may appear to be a distinct entity, rising and falling independently, but in reality, it is simply a manifestation of the ocean itself. Similarly, we may perceive ourselves as individual, separate beings, but in truth, we are part of the larger flow of existence. Our sense of individuality is like the wave. It appears to be separate, but it is ultimately inseparable from the whole. How would our lives change if we embrace this view of reality? Would we experience greater peace and less suffering if we recognize that we are not separate from the world around us? The role of language in shaping our identity. In his exploration of the self, Watts also examines the role of language in shaping our sense of identity. Language, he argues, is a powerful tool that shapes the way we think and experience the world. However, language can also distort our understanding of reality. It creates divisions and labels, categorizing experiences and phenomena into distinct concepts. For example, we use language to describe ourselves in terms of roles: mother, father, teacher, student, and these labels become part of our identity. But these labels are limited and do not capture the full complexity of our being. Watts suggests that we need to be aware of the limitations of language and not let it define us. By recognizing the fluid and dynamic nature of existence, we can begin to see beyond the labels and connect with our true essence. What would it be like to step outside of the confines of language and labels? Could we experience a deeper sense of freedom and authenticity by letting go of the identities we have constructed? The paradox of the self. Another intriguing aspect of Watts' philosophy is his exploration of the paradox of the self. On one hand, we are taught to view ourselves as separate individuals with unique personalities, desires, and goals. On the other hand, Watts suggests that this sense of separateness is a false construct. We are not separate from the world. We are inseparable from it. This paradox is at the heart of many of the challenges we face in life. We experience a constant tension between our desire to be individuals, to assert our autonomy, and the deeper truth that we are part of a larger, interconnected whole. This tension often leads to feelings of confusion, frustration, and alienation. Watts invites us to embrace this paradox and recognize that the self is both an individual expression and a manifestation of the larger universe. By accepting the paradox, we can transcend the limitations of the ego and experience a deeper, more authentic connection to ourselves and the world. How can we live with the awareness of this paradox without being consumed by it? Can we learn to navigate the tension between individuality and interconnectedness? The importance of letting go. On the taboo against knowing who you are, Watts emphasizes the importance of letting go of the false sense of self, the need for control, and the attachment to external goals. He argues that true freedom comes from releasing our grip on the idea of a separate, autonomous self and allowing ourselves to flow with the natural rhythms of life. Letting go does not mean giving up or resigning ourselves to passivity. Instead, it means recognizing the limitations of the ego and opening ourselves up to the possibility of being part of something much larger than ourselves. It is a process of surrender, not in the sense of defeat, but in the sense of aligning with the flow of life. Why is letting go so difficult for many people? Could it be that we are so attached to our identities and external achievements that we resist the very notion of surrender? The search for meaning and the role of awareness. Another key idea that Watts explores is the search for meaning. Many people spend their lives searching for purpose and meaning, often looking outside themselves for answers. They pursue careers, relationships, possessions, and status, believing that these external factors will bring them fulfillment. Watts, however, suggests that the search for meaning is misplaced. True meaning does not come from external sources, but from within. It arises from a deep awareness of our connection to the universe and our recognition that we are part of something far greater than ourselves. By cultivating awareness and embracing the present moment, we can discover the deeper meaning that already exists within us. How much of our search for meaning is rooted in the belief that we are separate from the world? Would our quest for purpose change if we understood that meaning is found in our interconnectedness with the universe? The practical implications of Watts' philosophy. While Watts' ideas may seem abstract or philosophical, they have profound practical implications for how we live our lives. By recognizing the illusion of separateness and embracing our interconnectedness, we can begin to live with greater ease and authenticity. We can stop striving for things that will never truly fulfill us and instead focus on experiencing life as it is. One of the practical applications of Watts' philosophy is the cultivation of mindfulness. By becoming more aware of our thoughts, feelings, and actions, we can break free from the mental patterns that keep us trapped in the illusion of separateness. Mindfulness allows us to experience life more fully, without the filter of our ego. How can we begin to practice mindfulness in our daily lives? What steps can we take to let go of the illusion of separateness and live in greater alignment with our true nature? Conclusion. The freedom of knowing who you are. On the taboo against knowing who you are, Alan Watts challenges us to question everything we think we know about ourselves. He invites us to see beyond the illusions and labels that define our identities and to embrace the truth that we are all part of the larger, interconnected whole. By letting go of the false self and embracing our true nature, we can experience freedom, peace, and fulfillment. The key question remains: what would it be like to live without the heavy burden of identity? To experience life without the need to define ourselves? Could this shift in perception lead to a deeper sense of joy and freedom? That's it for today's 10 minutes. Gold mine. If you find value in this, don't forget to like and subscribe. We upload +5 videos each day. Lastly, if you have any book in mind that you want to listen to, feel free to type the name in the comments. See you in the next one.